Yeah, if you know someone's going to start a fight with you.
Exactly.
Alright, let's come over here so it's all recorded. Alright, so I'm going to cover something now that I came up with on my own, but I'm sure a lot of other martial arts do it, and I'm sure a lot of even Filipino martial artists do it. Just kind of a little combination I made up. And there's a slight variation I've noticed that I do versus what I've seen, and it's actually worked for me. I've been in street fights where I've done this, and it's something that you do when you're sure that someone is going to hit you, or they've already put their hands on you, or they've thrown a punch and then their hands come up again, or they get into a fighting position. Right, so a lot of time in a street fight, people get overconfident, or they just get in your face, and you know what I mean? Exactly what he's doing. Like they'll stand, and also a lot of time they'll stand parallel feet. They won't have a good base and get ready to fight. They'll just kind of get in your face, and they're overconfident. If his hands are down, perfect thing for me to do is just be like, hey man, take it easy. My hands are right near his face. His hands are down. At any point, there's a million things I can do from here. Okay, I don't even need to worry. If his hands are down and he's getting in my face, then fight over for him. Right? Just cut his eyes, hit him with an elbow, hit him here, hit him in the headbutt, and get control of his neck. Million things you can hit him in the neck here. Anything you want to do from there is fine, because his hands are down. His weapons are out of the way. In fact, the only thing he can do is suddenly lift him up or try and knee you in the balls, and like he's got so much distance to travel versus my hands being like, hey, take it easy. And I also look submissive. I'm like, take it easy, my elbows are in. I look small compared to him. He's going to get right down in there, so boom, over. But if he puts his hands up, this is a different story. I kind of have to worry a bit now because I don't know where he might just throw a punch. And the distance is much shorter, right? If he just decides to jab at my face here, I better be ready for it. So the second his hands come up, my hands have to come up also. More open, because I don't want to look like I want to fight him. Right? So what I'm doing is tricking him into thinking I'm submissive. Now, I've seen martial arts do this. Say this is an entrance. Push both hands down at the same time and then do whatever you want. Now, my variation on this is don't push both hands down at the same time. Go 1, 2, then come in with an elbow. The reason is because when I push both hands down at the same time, his instinctive reaction is to pull them both up at the same time. Right? You go like this, and he actually will automatically defend this. But when I go here, he feels the impact here, then here. So there's two things happening to his brain, one after the other. When both of this happens at once, his brain's acknowledging both my hands were hit. When I go here, his brain is going, my left hand was hit, my right hand was hit. So his brain has to worry about what's going on with both, as opposed to both just happening at the same time and him kind of resisting. This feels completely different. And it's a split second. Instead of going like this, I'm going here, and I'm stepping off to the side. The reason I'm stepping off to the side also is because I'm out of range now if he wants to fall up here. So I go here, boom, and I throw an elbow. Okay, now if you look at this hand, the second I smacked it, I never lost it. So I'm not actually smacking this hand, I'm grabbing it. I'm just doing this. And on this side it would be, if I was doing it on this, I'm just getting a grip on the hand. And I grab it very tight and right away control it. You can feel, when I get this, it's not coming off. What I do when I get my grips is I take I get the wrist, but I also like to take my thumb and push it into this part of the hand here and bend. So right away he has no grip. Now, theoretically, if I just wanted to go for a wrist lock, it's very hard if you were to just make a fist. Would be a problem. But what I'm doing is I'm smacking this down, opening it, so it's out of the way for my elbow as I get this grip, and I also pushed his arm down. As this elbow comes in, it loosens him up for a second, which hopefully is enough to screw with his head enough so that this becomes easy. But even if not, okay, what happens when I push this down is his instinct is to pull it back up, which makes it super easy. So from the other side, just without the elbow, we'll go right here, so I go here, and he's going to want to pull this up. He's giving me the wrist lock. If he's really strong and I get stuck here for a second, I use both my hands and I use my hip, and if not, I can come under. Okay? When the second I come, so from here, the second I hit him here and come under, and take both my hands now, I'm going to rip his shoulder out, not his wrist. This is much more painful, and I keep it really tight and locked. Once his balance is off, I'm not worried about that punch. You can't throw that now with any power. Yeah, so one more time, what I'm doing is, I'm smacking this, then this, then this, and see how his arm is down? He's gonna have to pull it back up. I'm putting almost no power here. Okay, you can use both hands, or you can come under and drive and pop his shoulder up. In real time, this also hurts his hands, by the way. Just getting smacked in your hand like that hurts. Because people are like, whoa, what the fuck? So that's important to develop good smacking power. So what I do here, boom, and then break the wrist. Very fast, very explosive, boom, hit, boom, break the wrist. And then you can come under again and pop it here. Now this philosophy of the smack in a fight the second the hands come up, you know what I mean, whatever you want to do, it applies to anything. So come back here. I don't necessarily have to do this exact motion. This is my combination that I make up that works very well for me. I for some reason get really good at grabbing people's wrists when I come in. So even if I can hear it, sometimes I'm good at getting a hold of the wrist and I get good control. But you can do anything with the philosophy of the second his hands come up, I smack them down and do something at the same time. So I trick the brain. I do two simultaneous actions. So it could be stepping instead. Here's another one. Just as an example, I could smack as I step out and hit. Right? So this, his hands come up, he's like, fuck you, whatever. Instead of doing the 1-2 here, for whatever reason I don't feel comfortable, I want to get out, or maybe that's my only way out, and you know what I mean, there's guys over there. Let's say he had friends over there behind him, and I'm trying to get away from them. I could do something, and his hands come up, I could do something like step, at the same time smack, and at the same time drive across and hit. Okay? That'll set up a lot. If he's here and he puts his hands up, I go boom, right in. So already I just jarred his head back. Okay? And I also dropped his arm. So in real time it's boom, right in. Now if you look at his body position, his friends are over there, I'm blocking his friends from coming near me. I'm also setting up a perfect either lock to break the arm or underhook to toss him. Okay, so on the other side. Now his friends are going to be you guys on the camera. Right, so you guys are there. If you even look on a physical level, if you wanted to attack me, and I push this down here, I'm blocked. This hand comes up, you see the angle of the arm, and I get control of the arm. I can knee him here, I can grab the wrist, and if you look, this is going to be hard to see, but I use this arm to block his back and keep it down. See, trying to stand up? Can't. My arm is stopping him. Now I slowly pull this in, and it pops the shoulder up. I can also be kneeing from here, circling and driving him, and you'll see it better from this angle. So here, you see how his arm comes down? I come up, I lift, and I pull it in and break it. If not, I can use my shoulder. See how I use my own shoulder to get control of the arm. End of the fight from there. Kick him here, drop him back. You can do a million things. It's seamless. That's the whole point. So it's the second I shove him and I get that original smack, boom. You hear it, knee, throw him down to the ground, push him into his friends over there, keep him away. They're going to be thinking twice about continuing the fight.